Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Bizchicks TV. This is the place to be for tips, tools, strategies to help you take the hassle out of your hustle and to build a profitable business that's fun to run. Today is Friday, and that means we are talking tech in our Tech Life Weekly. Welcome to everybody watching live over in Clubhouse and on the replay and over in the circle. Good morning. Good morning. I'm starting everything off. Terry will be joining me soon. We have Dr. Tachi over in Clubhouse, and we have TJ coming in from New York City, and we're going to talk tech today. So we always start off with this day in tech history, so I'm going to start there. And I just want to say good morning to everyone. I got Yolanda, Dr. Tachi, Cheryl, and welcome. Let me know if you all want to jump in any part of the conversation, and we will bring you up to the stage. All right, let's get this party started. Woo! To this day in tech history. I don't know why that. I think I want to go. Okay, September 26, 1973, the supersonic aircraft Concorde makes its first nonstop Atlantic crossing and sets a new speed record in the process, flying from Washington, D.C. to Paris in 3 hours and 32 minutes at an average speed of 954 miles per hour. The Concorde cut the old speed record in half. Wow. September 25th, 1973, Microcomputer Machines of Canada introduces their MCM70, a microcomputer, at a programmers user conference in Toronto. It is possibly the earliest commercially manufactured device that can now be considered a personal computer. The MCM70 gained customers at companies such as Chevron Mutual Life Insurance, NASA, and the U.S. Army. The company worked closely with Intel on the design of their computer and made very early use of the Intel 8008 processor, of which the basic design was used for the future Intel 8086. However, failing to generate venture capital in the Canadian marketplace, the MCM70 never gained significant market acceptance, and by the time Apple II and other early personal computers were being released, the MC70 was relegated to a footnote in history. And I'm going to move up here. I'm going to go to Microsoft Word 1 for DOS. September 29th, 1983, Microsoft releases their first software application, Microsoft Word 1.0, for use with the MS-DOS compatible systems. Word was the first word processing software to make extensive use of a computer mouse. Not coincidentally, Microsoft had released a computer mouse for IBM compatible PCs earlier in the year. A demo version was also included for free with a copy of PC World magazine, marking the first time a floppy disk was included with the magazine. The Ethernet is drafted September 30th, 1980. Digital, Intel, and Xerox released version 1.0 of the Ethernet specification known as the Blue Book. Since that time, Ethernet has evolved into the de facto networking standard for local area networks, also known as LAN, in businesses and in the home. And the Ethernet cable is that cable that Cat 5, Cat 6, I don't know what cat we're on right now. All of those. Let's see what's happening here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you can. And the first CD player, October 1st, 1982, the first commercial compact disc player, the Sony CDP 101, goes on sale in Japan. Do we still have CD players today? And
somebody does. I had my computer, my other MacBook was the only one, because they don't do them with built-in CD DVD players anymore.
No.
You have to buy it separately if you want that. So that one is kind of defunct. So I have my DVD player, but do I really want to open it? And I just rather stream my music now.
Right. The whole thing, because I was doing something for a client and they needed the program on to play the video slide. They wanted it on DVD. And I was like, does anybody actually have a DVD? And so I had to go to the place and buy some DVDs that they actually, they were all back in the back somewhere on a shelf. And I was like, wow. And the only reason I was able to convert the little file that I created to DVD is because I have a old, and I do mean old, DVD/CD recorder. I said, I hope this still works so I can burn a disc. That was not easy. Anyway, that is your week in tech history. Dr. Tachi is going to start us off today with this week in media.
Hello. I hope everybody is doing well. Lots going on in media. It's very interesting. Hold on just a second. Hold on to your seats.
Uh-oh.
Well, to me, it's a little bit hold on to your seats. Do we remember Laurie Laughlin?
Yes.
Well, Laurie Laughlin, as you know, she did her little stint in prison or day camp, whatever the hell it was. And she is actually coming back to TV. She is set to reprise the role that she originated on the Hallmark Channel's adaptation of Jeanette Oak's book series for the second season of the show, When Hope Calls. Well, Hope answered for her, I guess. So she's going to reprise her role as Abigail Stanton, a widower and cafe owner turned mayor in this latest season of the GAC family series, When Hope Calls. It's supposed to, she's going to guest star on the second season, which is going to debut on December 18th. And yeah, this is interesting. So I'm wondering your thoughts in terms of whether or not anybody's thoughts on this one. Now, before you give thoughts, let me just say, Laurie Laughlin and her husband were indicted on charges of money laundering and mail fraud. That's it, mail fraud. So they be in the scandal with the university and their daughters getting in under false pretenses. Go ahead.
Okay, mail fraud and money laundering, or just the mail fraud?
No, just mail fraud. Mail fraud, not money laundering. Mail fraud, and they bribed. Basically, they were found guilty of bribing officials.
Okay, I got a question now. They bribed the official, but they were only charged with mail fraud. They didn't go to jail for the bribery stuff?
They did not. According to what I see, it was just mail fraud. In the college admission scandal, here it is. They pleaded guilty to initial charges of conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud, before later being charged with conspiracy. Okay, they were charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering and conspiracy to commit federal programs bribery. Yes.
Oh, okay, because I was like, okay. And I have always had the question, what about the people at the college?
Well, that wasn't those people I think have been dealt with, because remember, it was the ringleader of the whole thing. They had people that sat and took SATs for them and that type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now she's back on TV.
Well, okay.
See,
I didn't watch the program anyway, but okay.
I didn't, but to me, that's not the point. I think this sets a bad precedent in terms of the way that, I mean, celebrities have always been just kind of tapped on the wrist, but this is huge because it involves now, again, you get your way as long as you're famous and can pay your way out of it. Now, again, that has always been the way, but now you're really affecting other people. How many people did not get accepted to the universities? I believe it was Stanford, because your lackluster, mediocre daughters got in through fraud. And not just them, there were other people, because this was also Felicity Huffman who had a problem with this. She actually sucked it up and said, yes, I did it. It was the Laughlins who kept saying, oh, we did, and finally they relented. But really, in their minds, they see nothing wrong. And to me, it's like rewarding, you served your time, but I still don't feel that they think they did anything wrong. And this is going to continue to happen. And again, you're rewarded because, oh, well, here, you could guest star on this. What? In what other lifetime does that happen? So I think that's my major thing with it. It sets a bad precedent. And then, from the university end of it or whatever, it says that as long as you have rich parents, they can cheat and lie to get you in here, which often they do, because not everybody who's there is stellar. So you could cheat and lie your way into these quote unquote exclusive schools. And if you get caught, not much will happen to you. And you'll have a job after.
Yeah. Okay. There. So okay, greed and corruption.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, again, not that it's surprising, but it continues to set a bad precedent in this broken justice system that we have.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm thinking stuff is going to have to revert back to a moral code, because even if you write laws for it, people will figure out a way around it.
Well, it follows that you have to have morality for moral code to work.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. So, okay.
If you have no sense of scruples, no morals, no, mores, there's those types of things don't work. That's why they have to have laws, because you can't shame people into doing the right thing in most cases. If they can do it and get away without getting caught and without public scrutiny, they'll do it. And they only feel some sort of quote remorse once they are caught. I just think it's bad all the way around. Hallmark, also, she was on Hallmark for specific reasons, and we have to look. There are political reasons here. Those two, she and her husband, tend to have very conservative views. Hallmark is a very conservative channel. They tend to uphold their own. So I'm not necessarily surprised, but it sets a bad precedent.
Interesting.
Yes. So, whatever, Laurie Laughlin. Let's talk about Netflix. Netflix has scooped up Oxenfree developer Night School. This means that Netflix, as a streaming giant, continues to push into gaming. We already know they have this whole plan that they're doing with gaming in terms of subscription, etc. They're continuing to push into video games with the acquisition of Night School Studio, and this team is actually best known for 2016's Oxenfree game and 2019's After Party. And also, it makes sense because Oxenfree, I've never played the game, but from what I understand, it had kind of Stranger Things vibes, and Stranger Things has been a hit for Netflix. So it makes sense that not only are they pushing into gaming, but they're pushing into games that are adjacent to programming that they already have. So it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So the studio says they're going to continue to work on Oxenfree 2 and cooking up new game worlds. And this acquisition is actually just the latest of Netflix's ongoing push into games. Remember, earlier this year, they hired Mike Verdu, who was formerly of EA and Oculus, to head up their gaming efforts. So they've got a gaming veteran there. And they're currently testing having games in its mobile app. And they included that test to include Spain and Italy. So, Netflix, pushing further into the gaming world. All right, let's keep going. Unless you had something to say, sorry.
Yeah, well, I think that's a normal fit for them because why not bring that category into what you're already doing online? You're streaming online anyway, so they would have a good platform for streaming games. They've already mastered streaming movies.
Exactly. Makes perfect sense. All right, well, let's talk more Netflix news. Netflix has set up shop in Bushwick, Brooklyn, that is. And you actually are originally a New Yorker, but I don't know if you're as familiar with all the different areas. But Bushwick is an area in Brooklyn, and they first came the hipsters, now it's the movie makers. So Bushwick is undergoing a revival or gentrification, whatever you want to call it. And they took another step forward this month with this when Netflix set up shop in Bushwick. So they opened a 170,000 square foot studio in Bushwick under a long-term lease that will provide, quote, a state-of-the-art production experience for filmmakers. It's a massive facility, and it stretches across almost 2 avenue blocks just off the L line. It includes 6 sound stages, a mill, flexible support space, offices, and meeting rooms. So they've already started 2 productions at the facility, or preparation, I should say, for 2 productions at the facility. And they're expecting filming to begin this month, but they haven't revealed which shows they're going to be filming at that. But the signage on the production lot, according to the New York Daily News, indicates that it's going to be the miniseries The Watcher, starring Naomi Watts, one of them at least.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I have a comment here from Beverly regarding Laurie Laughlin. She says, I watched that show and I enjoy it. Slaps on the wrist are common for certain folks. Hallmark is a clean broadcast. Go figure. Hallmark is just really expanding on Black actors and actresses.
Interesting. Well, they only do that when they're shamed. Hallmark would be just as happy with the same storylines and the same ubiquitous cast they always have if it wasn't for all these calls for diversity. Right. And so I don't know. We'll see. I don't really watch Hallmark that much unless I'm watching The House on the Prairie. So I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, this is really interesting for Netflix that they are expanding out. Not surprising that it's New York City, but interesting that it is in Bushwick. I'm wondering how this is going to affect the neighborhood and what's what. Is Terry on?
Yeah, TJ's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
I need to know what you think about this. I know you don't live in Brooklyn, but what are your thoughts?
But repeat that because I was busy. I was clicking something on my computer.
Oh, no problem. No, I was saying that Netflix has opened up 170,000 square foot studio in Bushwick.
Oh, in Bushwick. Oh, well,
In Bushwick.
Okay, TJ said, well, what does that mean? Is that not like a...
What? I don't know what just happened. Oh, my camera just went crazy. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Bushwick is, gentrification city for New York City. So Bushwick was an area where you didn't want to go.
Okay.
Now it's, hipster city, up and coming. So.
Okay, so that is not the street you want. That ain't the neighborhood you want to turn down.
But about, 15 years ago, you didn't want to go to Bushwick. That was not a place. You knew somebody there.
Well, I guess if you can change the climate of an area, you know what I mean? Netflix is bringing in enough to be able to change the climate.
Yeah, there. It's like lots of places in Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan, and the neighborhood changed. So I guess it's okay now. It's like an up and coming spot.
The thing is, I guess it's okay when the neighborhood changes on its own. But when it's forced change because developers want that land for something that they're doing, and it changes the very look of the neighborhood, meanwhile, people who used to live there have to leave because they can't afford it, that's when it's problematic to me.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it should benefit everybody. But I mean, if the buildings are dilapidated and somebody comes in, brings something in, but they here in Sacramento or in places in California, developers have to do what is called inclusionary housing, meaning they have to provide. Okay, you're coming in and developing. You need to make affordable housing as well.
Right. We do that here too. It has to be a percentage
Yeah.
of the building. A percentage of apartments have to be set aside for low income, middle income, different levels. But it can't come into a neighborhood and just say, "Oh, these are $5 million condos," and we're not providing anything for the neighborhood. Yeah. So it's Bushwick is kind of like, if when you say South Bronx, when you used to say South Bronx, that was like a thing, like South Bronx. But now it's such a such an up and coming neighborhood. So Bushwick is one of those that is like, okay.
Well, yeah, because everybody gets priced out of Manhattan, which is why you started seeing people hipsters and stuff go up to Harlem. You start seeing them in areas of Brooklyn where they Red Hook and stuff. I'm like, Red Hook, why are you here? Because they're priced out of other areas that are more expensive. See, but the thing is, you live in New York, you live in California, you live in 2 states with sense. I'm in Florida, senseless. So they don't do things or give a damn about having affordable housing. In fact, Miami just surpassed LA as the second most expensive real estate market in the country.
Wow.
Which is so again, when you look at that market, they're looking at it compared to income. So looking at the cost of housing compared to what the median income is. So it's not that it's like, oh, a house in LA cost a starter home is $700,000 and it's the same here. No, it's just compared to the income. So here they don't give a damn. They're not trying to they're also, we need to look at affordable housing, but you're beholden to the developer. So, it just kind of gets me when you see these things, because these types of conversations often don't include everyone. So I want for these conversations to include everyone. Otherwise, you can't complain about certain things. You can't complain about poverty. You can't when you're not doing anything to fix it. So,
right.
The part of that, when you brought up New York, Dr. Tati, everybody thinks New York is it's all rich people. Manhattan is full of rich people. It's not. There's working people, there's families, there's this and that. So that when you say about things being done, those people will rise up and say, hey, wait a minute. They'll call their, community, whatever. They'll have a meeting. They'll do this. They'll march. They'll this and that. And they're like, no, you can't just come into a neighborhood and just do what you want. We're going to stop you. And then so that gets a lot of noise. So it's like the squeaky wheel gets the noise. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the other places aren't being squeaky. It's just that that's how it is here. People think, well, everybody's rich and you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Board 8 doesn't play. So these community boards in New York don't play. So yeah, that's what's going on with Netflix. But good to see that they are expanding, but hopefully it expands for the good of everyone. Let's talk Sundance. Sundance has announced their 2022 festival details. It's going to be in person and virtual. So it's going to be hybrid. Look, people, hybrid is not going away. All you fools who thought, oh yeah, we could go back to things. We don't know more for Zoom. We're going to pay for this for another year.
I said that was the word. I said that was in January. I said the word for 2021 was hybrid. In everything.
Yeah.
You did.
So,
yep.
You did. And that's going to be foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Because coming, for example, from the East Coast or whatever, there's so many conferences that happen at the same time that I generally have to pick. I'm not paying for everything. I mean, often I'm going as press. But sometimes, there's some things, even if I'm going as press, that's not paying for me to get out there. So it's like I have to say, which am I going to pay for? Which ones are the most important? So this whole thing of having a hybrid or virtual aspect to it is going to be critical to continue to increase your your the people that come.
Right.
So yeah, so I think this is really go ahead, sorry.
No, I thought this was good because I was thinking about NAB and some other stuff or different things, and it's like, yeah, y'all need hybrid because in my industry there's real estate conferences all across the country and stuff. I'm like, nah, y'all got it online because I'm not flying.
It makes a
I'm
lot of
not going. Is it online?
see, and the pandemic brought all of this to the forefront. Just aside for a minute, you remember it. I remember before the pandemic, there was a big thing about a discussion about nobody was going to have groceries delivered to their homes. I remember this distinctly, like 2017, 2018, whenever Amazon did their fresh thing. I got in a discussion online. I said, "You people are crazy. This thing is going to take off. Pandemic come, boom. Everybody wants their groceries delivered. So same thing here, the hybrid, it makes sense. And the people putting on the events, they get more money because like Taji said, you have to decide where am I, because I have to physically go to a place. I have to have a hotel, you have to have travel, you have to this, that, and the time. So now if you do hybrid, all I got to do is, make the payment of whatever it is, and I'm from the comfort of my home. So it's here to stay.
Yep.
Absolutely. So Sundance is going to run from January 20th through the 30th. They're going to do online screenings next year, but Park City is still getting ready to mount a larger in-person event as well. So Sundance Institute announced several key aspects of how this is going to take place. They're going to include further details on satellite screen partners and locations. So where else you can go and do this? Because, obviously it is a big festival and spread out all over Park City, Utah. I went in 2010. It's phenomenal, but it takes place all over the place across that whole area. Also, they're going to have ticket package details and on sale dates, plus further elaboration of their earlier health and safety guidelines because they still want people to remain safe. So that's what's happening next year in January. Sundance is happening, but it's going to be a hybrid event.
Nice.
Let's keep going. I just have a few more things that I want to do this. Now this is tech, kind of, but it's also kind of me in a sense. Amazon, I wanted to put this out there. Did you know they've opened a hair salon where you can try out dyes before you fully commit to it?
Really?
Okay. Do tell.
They have. So Amazon wants to be in every industry, and the hair industry is not different. So obviously, hair services during the pandemic slowed down, and this is probably what made Amazon think. It's actually not in the U.S. It's located in Spitalfields, London, East London, and the Amazon salon uses technology liberally to provide its customers with the best in hair care. So at this salon, customers will be able to try out different hair colors virtually before choosing the final shade. And there's been something similar like this, right? Snapchat filters, etc. But the thing is, the technology makes this look very real. So it doesn't just look like it's a filter kind of popped over it. It looks like this is actually real. So yeah, just in case you didn't know, Amazon is going to have a salon in East London, and you're going to be able to try these things virtually before you actually get it done. So that is actually very cool, I think. Now, this is big news. If you are in Hollywood, if you are an actor, or you're in the industry in general, you'll know about CAA, which is Creative Artists Industry, and ICM Partners, two of the big talent agencies in Hollywood. Well, CAA is acquiring ICM Partners in what would be a gigantic merger between these two rival talent agencies. This is going to leave three major talent agencies only in Hollywood between WME, CAA, and UTA. This is actually the largest deal of its kind since WMA, William Morris Agency, and Endeavor, which is another talent agency, since they merged. So there hasn't been a deal of this kind. So now there's just going to be three major talent agencies in Hollywood when this goes through.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting because he or she that has the talent controls the narrative of where the talent goes, right? So now everybody, there's already a rush to be represented once you get out to Hollywood, or if you're in New York or wherever you happen to be, because it's not just in Hollywood. They represent all over the country. But you want to be represented often by a big agency because they can give you big things. But if there are only three, that means they determine who gets represented, who doesn't. So it's less competition.
Wow.
Maybe they like it that way. Yeah.
That's
And that, go ahead.
no. Continue. Do tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have one more story for you. Disney! Walt Disney Company is taking legal action against former Marvel Comics writers and illustrators who are trying to claim rights to characters and stories that they worked on decades ago, including Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Daredevil. So, Disney-owned Marvel on Friday sued several last Friday sued several ex-Marvel Comics artists in order to invalidate copyright termination notices that they served against Disney. So Marvel filed multiple complaints in court in New York and California. So the artists, all of whom are deceased except for one, worked for Marvel in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. Their reps served the termination notices earlier this year. And these artists include Lawrence D. Lieber, who's 89, a writer that Marvel hired in 1958 and who wrote stories featuring the likes of Iron Man, Thor, and Ant-Man. Lieber is actually the younger brother of the late Stan Lee, whose work with Marvel provided the foundation of much of the public. Let's be real. Spider-Man is really responsible for a lot of Marvel's success. Okay, let's remember that. So this is interesting. Marvel is filing its lawsuits under the name Marvel Characters Incorporated, and they said in court documents that because Lieber and the others toiled as work for hire, they have no legal ownership rights to the characters they worked for. They say, quote, any contributions Lieber, I don't know if it's Lieber or Lieber, but Lieber made were at Marvel's instance and expense, rendering his contributions work made for hire, which to the Copyright Act's termination provisions do not apply, Marvel said in one of its complaints.
Wow.
So basically, they're not trying to give these people their money over that. So, interesting.
It's interesting that they did this after Stan's passing. I'm just saying, they didn't do any of this while Stan was here. So what is up with that?
Usually, isn't it when you are working with a company like that, back in the day, anything you created while you were in their employ was actually theirs.
Exactly. So, that's true. So they may not have a legal leg to stand on in this one.
Right, because I'm wondering if there was an attorney that went around to everybody and said, hey, you can take your stuff. You know what I mean? That make them think that, okay, you're 89.
I think it stems from earlier this year and last year when all the merger and acquisitions took place. There were contemporary writers, who Disney was not going to pay their contracts. And Disney didn't have a leg to stand on. And so sci-fi fantasy writers organization got behind them, and their legal team stepped in. And so there were settlements to be made because Disney did owe them the money. And I'm wondering if, like you say, if another lawyer said, maybe we can get this for these older writers, and if there's enough fuss, maybe Disney will pay just to stay out of the news, because Disney was wrong and it did have adverse publicity for them in the contemporary case. So this is interesting, as well as the William Morris, the CA. What I'm trying to say here, the two talent agencies that merged, because when William Morris and Endeavor got together, it rocked the world, and it rocked the book world as well, because William Morris is also one of the top agents. Dude out of what is it, Melbourne? I don't even know if he's still there, but he was like one of the top agents for books. And so this is this is so exciting, and I don't think there's any coincidence for the timing, because there's some other stuff that's going on in the book industry right now that, you know, things are changing hands and all this good stuff, and it's like one company that's really positioned well is Kensington Books, which is the largest privately owned company, and you know, it hasn't been around as long as the other majors, but they have become the major deals because they hooked up with Penguin. So this is exciting to me. Thank you so much for reporting this.
Oh, absolutely! It is. This is all very interesting news. I continue to marvel, pun intended, at Disney because you already own the world and everything. And really, if all the money in the world was to be had and counted in a room, probably a good 75% of it is yours. So I don't understand what the... I do breed cleanliness to it. You don't have to. Even if you divided everything that you had now, all your assets, you'd still have more than some small countries. So I don't get it. I think sometimes it's just the right thing to do, because they really took advantage of these writers and things back in the day. They were severely taken advantage of. So the right thing to do is give them something. Even if it is that they don't have a legal leg to stand on, but the moral leg to stand on is they did work. They were responsible for the success of these characters. Give them something. That's all I have to say. And that's all I have to say about this. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Thank you. And yeah, all of the world of media. And now we're going to be, TJ is going to talk to us about social media news.
Yes,
Do we need a seatbelt?
Go ahead.
We need a seatbelt?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I wanted to bring up, well, I'll wait for that. I'll wait. Yeah, so I've been clicking stuff in the background, trying something new, so we'll see how it goes. But this week in social media news, there's a lot of stuff going on, so we're going to start with Clubhouse, because we're in the Clubhouse. Hey, Clubhouse.
Hey.
So Clubhouse, the announcement is they made audio shareable with 30-second previews of rooms. So they're calling this Clips, a tool people can use to share previews of public rooms. I'm thinking the creator and the host, whoever's having the room, has to turn it on. It said you'll see a new icon that looks like a pair of scissors. So has anybody seen that? Because I haven't done a room in a while on Clubhouse.
I did not see that when I came in, but that doesn't mean anything, because I just went straight to a room. I didn't even.
Right. So that's what they're saying. It's called Clips. It's going to be a tool you can use to share previews of public rooms. They're saying tap it and Clubhouse will capture the last 30 seconds of audio, which you can then share on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, iMessage, or WhatsApp. Now, they're rolling Clips out in beta. So that's probably why none of us have seen it. I know I haven't. So I'm not sure of how they decided who gets to test this new tool, but it's in beta. And they're saying in most public and open rooms, you should see the scissors icon there, unless the host has gone out of their way to disable it. So it's something that if you're starting the room, you get to control it, of course, because you're the host. So
I don't see scissors on ours, so okay.
Yeah, they're saying it's in beta to select creators. Now, who they select? It's up to Clubhouse. So if you see it, test it out. Let us know. All right. So also, they're saying in the next couple of weeks, Clubhouse is going to introduce a way for people to share archives of past live rooms, and the feature is called Replay. So this is coming soon. It's not out yet. Excuse me.
I've got a question. So wait, you can record Clubhouse now? How are you going to do that if you...
that's what they have here. They said sometime in the next few weeks. They don't have a date, but the Clubhouse plans to introduce a way for people to share archives. So what I heard is that they were always recording, but it was their end, not for us. Like there was no way for us to have it. Now I guess they're enabling that feature for the person that hosts the room.
Hold on, but they didn't tell us that they was recording us.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's how they catch. This is how remember when they put the option in to report a troll or somebody that comes in. That's because they're listening. They're recording and listening so they can go back if they get a report.
But we couldn't record, and that's why we had to write recording in the little thing.
It wasn't available on the app. I mean, there's ways to record. You know, if you got your phone and you're at your computer and you can record from the computer.
But I was just thinking, you know, if they had the recording feature, it would have solved a lot of problems because you can just record, post it to a podcast and be done. We don't have to. Okay.
Right. So that's what they're saying. They're calling this new feature replays. And then, of course, you'll be able to disable it because if you create a room, you control all of the buttons and whistles and things that are happening in the room. So they're saying when this is active, it will make past rooms discoverable for as long as a host or creator wants people to find that conversation. So again, the host of the room or host or moderator or whoever's controlling everything like the wizard, you get to decide if you want to do a clip, if you want to do a replay and all of that. All right. So they're saying replays are coming out sometime in October. So it's October now. We don't have a date, so just be on the lookout if that's something that you wanted. Okay.
But
so if
ahead.
I'm hearing you correctly, the rooms that we've had in the past can still be resurrected?
That's what they're saying here. They're saying that juice a way to people to share archives of past live rooms. Now, there's no detail on it. They're not saying, well, if it's starting today, and you do a room today and this week, whatever, and when they turn the replay on, you'll see your past rooms. They're not giving us any details as to how far back they're going. I don't think it's going to be like January. I don't think it's going to be like that.
I hope not, because their rules said that they, after 4 or 5 days or so, they destroy the tapes anyway up until this thing. So that would be interesting.
Right, we don't know how long they were keeping their archives. We don't know because that's a backup storage issue. So Clubhouse didn't share that information, and they're not sharing any details. They're just saying that at some point, I guess when they put this option on, and then they'll say, okay. And this is the thing, like StreamYard. StreamYard was the last 15 days you could keep the recordings, and then they got rid of them.
So, yes, but we were actually allowed to conduct the recordings with Clubhouse. Right. You can't push a button and say record or not record.
Right. So that we don't have any more details. This is what Clubhouse is giving out. So we'll just keep an eye open for the details. But
Mark has
go ahead.
Mark has a couple of comments. He said, I lost a follower. I know, it's shocking. Is that part of your news? Okay, he's starting out with jokes. And then he also, you can record Clubhouse rooms now via Backstage, which is an application from Headliner. It's only PC based, I believe. I haven't tried it yet.
And yes, if you are near a computer, because I was using Otter.ai to record. So if you have a device that picks up audio from another device, you could have recorded all this time. It's just that now Clubhouse is giving this option because remember Twitter Spaces is going to do the same thing. That is going to have replays.
So this is now going to rival live rooms on Facebook,
right? And live rooms, because remember that's coming soon. It's in beta with with journalists or professional people or celebrities or whatever the criteria of Facebook has. Because I've seen a couple. Mm-hmm.
And again, to me, Facebook already had it when they had the rooms when you had rooms.
Right.
audio or video. I should not. Okay, now I gotta go to
Yes.
live rooms
Mhm.
to get audio. When all you need to do is just let me know. Can I turn off the video and just use it? That would be so simple.
Right. But see, I believe with Messenger there was a limit to the number of people in the room. With this live audio, is a different thing. I'm not sure. I think the limit will be bigger. But see, we're guessing. We're on the other side of the curtain, so we don't know what's going on behind the curtain until they say, "Hey, here's this thing," and use it. So, was somebody in Clubhouse had a comment?
Anybody have anything to contribute to that, or like to add, say, in
No.
comment? That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, that's just really weird.
We
It's
don't
just
know.
weird. It just, you would think because we are in the technology where it is now, where you can pull out your phone and go to voice recorder and push a button and record, this would be easy on all these platforms, but it doesn't seem like it's that simple.
Well, and a lot of it has to do. I brought up StreamYard because it's a storage issue. So you have to think about the millions of users or how many users, and then they have, the apps, they have to pay for storage. These things have to be stored somewhere. So that's why it was like, okay, they were keeping it for themselves and not allowing it for everybody on Clubhouse or everywhere. So that's one of the issues with rollout. It's like they have to have storage, they have to have server space, they have to determine how much space they're going to give you. So that's what I'm saying. That's one of the things with Clubhouse. I don't know when they're going to start recording it so you won't have access to it.
And see, here's the thing. I would be willing to pay for it, if I could record and do the audio recording over there, have the conversations, and I would pay for that.
Remember bringing up the paying for. Remember that was one of the things with Blab. We said, stay Blab, we'll pay, but they didn't want to for whatever the reasons were. So, with Clubhouse, we're on this side of the curtain, so we don't know what's going on backstage.
Nope. And Mark says, usually I can barely withstand the live speaking in most of the Clubhouse rooms. I don't need a recording to relive the nightmare.
And see, some of the things that's going on in Clubhouse, you do want a recording. Like there's the feed your dream, dry your buzz with the feed your dream.
Right.
That's something that if she wanted to record and then store it for later, or save or sell access to later, or whatever. See, right. But the recording from Clubhouse is not there because they're like, okay, it's not available to us, but it's back there with Clubhouse. And I don't know how long they hold it on to recording. So there's a lot of things that's happening that we don't know because we're on this side of the curtain. Okay, so one more thing with Clubhouse, they say they're introducing a search tool that allows you to look for specific people, clubs, live rooms, and future events. They're saying the functionality will live in the Explore tab for about a week or two, and then Clubhouse will move it to the hallway sidebar. Now that, because I haven't looked. Let me look in Clubhouse for a second and see. Because I'm like, where would they put this? Because it's already crowded. Right. So they're saying in the hallway somewhere. But there's always stuff at the bottom. Like there's the starter room, there's the dots where you go get to see people, there's the waving feature. So they're running out of places to put things. So we'll see. Clubhouse is working on their search feature, so look for that.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's move on to Spotify. We really don't talk about that. But Spotify put out a quiz this week to help you find a new podcast based on your listening habits. And I wanted to just show, it's a website you go to. And I wanted to show it to you in the setup that I have. Let me see if this works. There we go.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
I can see you. Yeah. So let me see.
Yeah, I know Clubhouse. We can make it bigger. I don't know why. No?
Okay, but I do see it. I see it because you put it in your
I put it in
as
my
a.
windows, trying to make it bigger. There we go.
There you go. We can
That's a
see
little
it.
bigger. Let me make it.
Yeah, it says podcast on. That was good because you can really see it. Podcast on Spotify. Ready to find the podcast you've been listening for.
Right.
Meet Your Perfect Podcast. Okay.
Right. So let me move this. Trying to make it bigger.
Oh, it's big. I can see it.
It's big. Okay. So for Clubhouse, I'm going to read it. So podcast on Spotify is what it says. And it says, ready to find the podcast you've been listening for. Meet Your Perfect Podcast. Now, I didn't click on this button, and I'm going to click on it and see what happens. So what they do is they ask you a bunch of questions. Like, how does your perfect podcast win you over? So they're asking questions to match you with podcasts because there's so many podcasts and people are having trouble finding them. So they're saying, so last year, almost 1.5 billion podcasts have been added to Spotify, but they want to help you find a match that will, something of interest that you want to hear about. So they did this for International Podcast Day. They created a quiz to help listeners discover a show that matches their taste. So this is for you users in the US, the UK, and Germany, and Australia. And it's a website. It's called findtheone.byspotify.com. And I'm going to put it in the chat if you're over on, if you're watching us on the, now I want to say StreamYard, but it's not. It's not Instagram. Facebook, YouTube, the usual places.
Right.
So it's called Find the One, and you go through and you so you can see here when I'm mousing over things, it's asking you, do you want a murder mystery party? Do you want something? I don't know what that is. Something about Prime Minister. Then something about a go-kart battle. These are kind of weird. All-night sitcomathon and a pair of tickets to an improv. It's really weird. So they ask you these questions, you click on them, and then at the end, it's supposed to show you, okay, these are the podcasts that fit you, that what you like. So it's called Find the One. Find the One.podcast. Findtheone.spotify.com. I put the link in. Byspotify.com. So if you've got a few minutes and you want to be entertained and, I want to find a podcast on Spotify that I don't know anything about, here you go. So this is a discoverability tool that Spotify put out this week. Now, I had another story about Spotify. They did something this week. I didn't put it in. Oh, well. There was some last minute news and I was trying to include it. But if I find it, I'll put the link out so you can find it. But it wasn't like a big deal. But, Spotify did something. I'm trying to remember what it did. All right. So let's move on to Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Twitter. They have opened up applications for professional profiles. It's an option for brands and creators and businesses where you can create a professional profile. Now, I got a screenshot for that. Let me find it real quick. I was trying to do it this way to see if it was more, if it was smoother with finding things. Yeah, here we go. All right, so it's called Twitter for Professionals. Let me switch over. Can we see that? I can make it a little bigger if you can't see it.
I can see that.
Okay, so it says Twitter for Professionals. Get access to the tools you need to better connect with your audience, grow your brands, and increase your profits. Now, it asks you to, you have to select the category of business that you're in. You have to select the account type, business or creator. And then once you fill out this short form, I saw it. I didn't fill it out because, it asks you some stuff about email and address and this. I was like, I don't have time. I'll do it later. So once you fill out the form, it says, welcome to Twitter for Professionals. Now you can access more tools to better connect with your customers and grow your brand. All right, so Twitter for Professionals. I didn't sign up for it yet. Now there is another one. Let me bring this up. Can you see that? Is it clear, friend?
Yeah, yes, it's clear.
Okay, so this is once you're in Twitter for Twitter for professionals, what's on your Twitter profile is you get a little section depending on how you fill out the form, like your category, if you're a business, if you're a creator. So you'll have information like your newsletter. Like if you sign up for the review, that Twitter bot review, and they connected a newsletter to your Twitter account, it'll show on your profile.
Wow.
If you're selling products, it'll show on your profile. If you want to put information about where, like a restaurant, where to find us, or a brick and mortar, there's a section for that. So they're calling this the about module, the shop module, the newsletter module. So depending on how you fill out the form is what will show up on your profile. And people can tap these things and go to it. Like the shop module, you see they have some products there with the pricing. When you tap on that, you'll be able to go and buy it from Twitter. Okay. So this is their Twitter for professionals. A part of, this is a part of their monetization scheme where they have all of these tools where you can make money from Twitter Spaces, where you have the tip jar, where you can have events and get paid. So Twitter has rolled all of these things out this year. So what do we think of that?
Mm-hmm. I think it's probably a good idea, just so that you're not all in the noise with all of the rest of the stuff on Twitter, because Twitter is very cluttered.
Right. So this is their explanation. Twitter says, we know people come to Twitter to interact with brands and engage in conversations about products and services. All this demand gives us confidence in the power of combining real-time conversation with enhanced features for professionals aimed at better controlling and enhancing their identity on Twitter. So they've been testing this since April. So they had a beta program, and some of the businesses was trying out. So they're saying that this is going to they're opening up so we can all apply now. There's a link that you have to go apply to. And if you follow Twitter Business on Twitter, they have a tweet about where to go and how to fill it out and everything. Okay, so that's their Twitter for professionals.
Nice.
Okay, so that's Twitter. Let's move on to, before I talk about Facebook, let's look at TikTok real quick. I'm just making sure I got all of the little ones out of the way. I don't want to call them little, but Facebook is like the biggest one, so I'll save them for last. All right, TikTok.
Hey, Miss Eileen.
Oh, Eileen's here. Hey.
Hey, Miss Eileen. She's over in a Clubhouse with us.
I hear the little the little chirping.
And Tasha and Anna as well joined us in the Clubhouse. Welcome.
Hey.
You can raise your hand at any time and we'll bring you to the stage.
Clubhouse is doing it. Bringing on these new things. Everybody's coming in. All right, so TikTok, we got to congratulate TikTok. They have reached 1 billion active users this week. This is the latest milestone for TikTok because they're the most downloaded app for this year. They're the most popular app. Everybody wants to be on TikTok, so now they have 1 billion active users. So they're saying so this is an announcement from TikTok. They said more than 1 billion people around the world now come to TikTok every month to be entertained as they learn, laugh, or discover something new. We're honored to be a home for our immensely diverse community of families, small businesses, and creators who transform into our favorite stars. Now, this statement is important because see how they said it's families, small businesses, creators, because TikTok they want to grow beyond the teenager dancing stage. And that's how it was. Remember, we first started talking about TikTok about maybe 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Remember, everybody was like, they didn't want to be on it because it was dancing teenagers. Well, TikTok, fast forward pandemic, just dancing teenagers and all that stuff. But there's lots of businesses, brands, shopping creators, and all of that. Dryer Buzz know all about the TikTok shopping. And the TikTok for creators, TikTok for business, for ads, they're just grown exponentially. So that statement, they're saying they want to be the place for families, small business, and creators. That's the kind of content they want because that brings in the ad revenue. That brings in brands and you would, with your business, you come to TikTok and set up your business, set up shop and start, selling stuff and getting customers. They want that. So this is where TikTok is going. 1 billion. Congratulations. All right. So on the other side of that, TikTok announced today, I think this came out today, that they're partnering with selected creators, celebrities, and online entities like Little Nas X, Grimes, and somebody named Bella Porch. I've two of these names I don't know, but I know they're artists. They're creating a collection of non-fungible tokens, NFTs. That's the hot thing this year, NFTs. So they're calling them TikTok moments. So they're inspired by 6 culturally significant TikTok videos in the form of one of one NFTs. TikTok plans to auction them alongside a selected of limited edition NFTs, and they'll sell these weekly throughout October. So October's a big month. Things are popping off. So they're saying proceeds will go to directly to the creators and the NFT artists involved. Now, they haven't given a lot of details about this, but we'll see. So TikTok has got into the NFT market, which is all right. So that's going on with TikTok. And now Instagram. Instagram has done, if you've noticed this, they really haven't announced it. I've just gone in and seen, that you can do your chats and your direct messages and all combined, mixed up with Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Remember? And I said that a few years ago. I said that they were going to do this. They were going to make it everything all in one. So now you can do group chats. You can do group chats. You can do polls, chat themes, and all kind of stuff. And it's all mixed up together in whatever app you decide to go to. If you go into Facebook Business Suite, you'll see all of your things going in there if you manage pages. So you'll be able to do this in both Messenger and Instagram with your Messenger and Instagram contacts. You'll be able to run Messenger style polls in both Instagram DMs and cross app group chats. So group chats is now across the board. Everything's mixed up together. Cross messaging is what Facebook is calling us. So now they're doing cross app group chats. Okay. They're also they're also and I think they tested this before, but it's called Watch Together with Instagram. You start a video chat within Instagram, scroll to the post you want to share, and then click on the share button and then watch together. They said they've added some content from some popular celebrities to get this watch together thing going on Instagram. Let's see. Also, they're doing some new chat themes for Messenger and Instagram DMs. Again, around celebrities. They're doing one around Columbia singer J Balvin. There's also a astrology art theme with an astrology group chat theme. New AR effects, the themes and the filters and everything. So they're putting it and the stickers. So they're doing that. This is Instagram. All to distract you from. No, okay. One more thing before we talk about that. Facebook is now promoting Reels in your feed, in your Facebook feed. And I've got. Let me show you so we can get clear on this. Let me bring it up. And hold on. I got so many windows. Here we go. Facebook. See, I got a bunch of stuff. Here we go. Facebook is putting Reels in Instagram Reels into your Facebook feed, right inside of it. There we go. I wanted to show you. So when you're in your feed on mobile, I haven't seen it on desktop, and I saw it. Mine is doing it today. When you go to Facebook and you're scrolling with your thumb, oh, look at this, look at that. You'll see Reels. They just pop up in the middle. And when you tap them, they start playing.
Okay.
So Reels are now inside of Facebook. Because they want you to make reels. All right. So you'll create reels directly from Facebook, and you'll see the short form. Remember, reels are short form videos, 15 seconds. I think the limit is 60 seconds. It'll be in your news feed on Facebook, whether you want it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So cross posting. Now, why are they doing this? They want you to get discovered they want your reels to be discovered in the news feed on Facebook. They wanted to reach everybody, not just people that's following you and you're following. You're going to see people's reels that you don't even know who they are. This will also be in groups. Creators and group members can create and share reels and groups to express themselves and engage in more fun and visual way with their favorite interest communities. These are words from Facebook. Also, they're going to have a setting for admins that makes it easy to prompt members to share their reels. So if you're a group administrator of a group, there's going to be a bunch of tools for you to get people to get their reels popping in your group. Now, share from Instagram to Facebook to reach new audiences. These are the reasons they're giving to doing it. We're testing the ability for Instagram creators to have their reels recommended on Facebook. So the small number of Instagram creators will see an option to have their reel recommended on Facebook. So there we go.
Okay.
Reels. You can't get away from them. Here's another part of this. One more part of this deal with Reels and Facebook. You can earn money for Reels with bonuses. So they're offering a new bonus program to help creators earn money when people view their Reels. So Facebook is wanting you to do this. Like, okay, Reels. What do we think of this?
It's too much. It's like it's gonna be your feed is already cluttered, and then there's stuff on the right and the left of the stream, and now you are popping videos up in front of me.
So one more thing about the Reels, get ready for the ads. They're going to begin testing full screen and immersive ads between Reels to help small businesses and brands connect with new audiences. So just like with organic Reels content, the ads, people can comment, like, view, save, share, and skip them. I'll be skipping.
So it's kind of like YouTube but YouTube has got, at least YouTube is better laid out, and they, and like a video will come up next after it plays, and then you can still skip it, right? But it's all in one place. It's not coming up in your feed, so to speak.
Right.
Anyway.
So it'll be okay. So, all right. Reels. If you're not on Instagram, which a lot of Facebook people aren't on Instagram yet, that's the other thing. They're not there yet. So they're going to see these Reels and go, what the heck are these things? But if you're on Instagram, you already know about Reels. So Facebook is betting on the fact that people who don't use Instagram and don't use Reels is going to look at Reels that come from Instagram. I don't know. This is crazy.
Okay.
Can I jump in?
Yes, please do.
I mean, we knew that Facebook has been testing out all this stuff. I'm over here on Facebook now, and I clicked on a photo. And instead of swiping up and down, I don't know how long went down this wormhole on photos, but I've been swiping left and right. And we noticed just within the last couple of days that Facebook totally reformatted. It literally took over. You didn't see anything in the side. It literally is a grid, just like Instagram. We know the Reels are there. I think it's going to be hot with the Reels. The only thing about it, Reels are just so short. And Facebook people appreciate a little longer form content, right? So it's going to be interesting to see, and here again, the question is, where do you originate the content? Because, okay, I will take my TikTok and I'll put them on Instagram as a reel, but now I've been on Facebook. I I went live on Facebook the other day. I was like, and I'm now thinking I should originate, but I never really originated on Facebook. I used to originate everything, video and audio, video and photo wise on Instagram. So
Right.
I think it's that they realized that there were more still stuff. Oh, but here's the kicker. Here's the kicker that people don't get. We've been said the friendship model was a failure, right? Nobody went viral thanks to their friends. Nobody went viral thanks to their family. Forget that. The one thing that they did over the last couple of days, along with restructuring reformatting your page, was if you were on Instagram, it asked you in a prompt, would you mind if they shared your Instagram content publicly on Facebook, meaning not just to your friends. Now that is what we've been wanting Facebook to be since day one. Get us out of prison, stop locking us into friends who won't like, who won't share, who won't follow, family that has no idea what it is to be a creative and how valuable the currency is of you need in their life. So now, starting literally now, if you post something if you post a reel, you're going to get beyond family and friends. So people, just like we have seen this growth on TikTok, getting in front of the ability to get in front of strangers every day, you're now going to have that on Facebook. And I'm wondering how you think people are going to handle that, because they consider, oh, I'm in a safe space. Oh, I'm so comfortable. Oh, I'm so safe. It's like now you're out in public. And I've been waiting for everybody. That's my thing. We live in public. How do you think people are going to handle that now with these strangers liking your post?
Exactly. See, and then Facebook is springing it on you without you. I mean, because I saw, I think it was earlier this week or last week, I saw the reels and I didn't pay attention to it. Like they did something else in the stories. They started putting stories in the middle of your feed, but there was no announcement. You're just scrolling. I'm like, oh, there's stories in the middle of, instead of being on the top in the circle, it's in the middle of the feed. So now with reels, when I go in there, I see a create button. So now they're letting you create the reel from Facebook. And then again, it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be strangers. These are not your friends. Right.
You log in and because I went to go hit photo, like I'm going to upload a photo. I'm like, wait, that said create a room. I'm like, wait, where did the photo button go? The photo button now is in the corner. And you've got, what did it say, like reels? It said reels, rooms, and groups. Yeah, real, room, groups, and then live, right? So that's at the very top. And it's kind of odd, the layout here on my phone. But naturally, I thought, that would have been the photo button. And now, like, oh, no, there's room. And I got to try to figure out how to escape that to go back. So they're going to shock people with this. But I'm ecstatic about being able to post something truly publicly. And we've been trying to get that out of Facebook since, 2008? Like, where's the common area, So I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm a little leery. Because, Facebook doesn't do anything unless it benefits Facebook. It's truly not going to benefit us.
Right. And remember, Fran was saying about it being confusing. Well, there's more confusion going on. There's more, because there's more stuff in your feed. It's not just, stuff from your friends and family. Now there's reels in there from people you don't even know, but they're betting on, because of the interactivity and it's video, that you're going to see something and stop and tap and watch, comment and share like that. It's a road they want to get you on. So instead of them saying, okay, we're going to keep
advertising and promo road, because it's like, oh, do you mind if we recommend your reel to people you may not know? Oh, right. Yeah. What you're gonna run some ads in between
right.
that. But
and see, what's gonna happen is you if you're at a business or a brand, they're gonna they may put your reels in here for free now, but if you're a business and you have a business page, they're gonna be like, well, you got to put an ad in. We're not gonna put your reel in.
Speaking of that, I got an email. Let me see. I got an email from Facebook. It says new community content for Dryer Buzz. It says new this week from your community. What community? And it literally is asking. It says, see how people are showing off your products and request to feature their photos and videos in your shop on Instagram. And then it wants me to click a link and I can see where people have quote unquote tagged me or the soap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then want me, I guess once I go down that wormhole, it's gonna be like, oh, well, you can feature, because that's how TikTok does. If somebody does TikTok about the product, you can then, if they're an influencer or if they're in the creator program, they set a fee. If you want to run their video, they say, oh, you can run my video for X amount of dollars. I'm wondering if Facebook is trying to do that now. If I click this link and it's going to show me, because it's showing me like right now, like we're having the summit, right? So everybody posted about the summit, they tag me or the hashtag, whatever. Facebook is saying, hey, go and review this content to see if you want to run any of the ads in ad.
Right.
What Facebook is, are you going to pay that creator? Because I know that's what TikTok can do. And I don't know that Facebook will do that. And that is where Facebook continues to go wrong, is because they're not trying to come off no money.
Yeah, they're not trying to give you nothing. And what Facebook will do will send you all of these stupid notifications saying, oh, your post is performing 80% better than your other post. Boost it or run an ad, or they'll put these notifications up to send you to do something because they want you to run the ads. They're not gonna try to give you anything. But see what I'm saying about these reels, like they're saying, okay, well, we're going to put all these reels because they want to promote it and push it to the top. But then as a business page, they're going to take that away and then you have to pay. And they're going to put those notifications up saying, oh, well, you had 3,000 views on your reel. Boost it. That's what they're going to do because it gets more money for them.
I wish they would just come out with just one. Give me a price. I mean, we pay. It's a business.
Yeah.
We pay for the pro version of apps. We pay for the email thing. I wish they would just come up with a price like everybody else, and for people to see the content. It's like, give me $79 a month, $3,000 a year. I don't care. Just give me a price so that I can figure out where to put this in my strategy. I know I get tired of, oh, this is what Facebook's favoring now. This is what nobody can keep up with this strategy. You can't do it. And that's why people migrate over to these other platforms. They say, hey, here's what we are out the gate. We're not every 30 days or something new. Like, you need, because if you are a business, you say, oh, well, first it was live video. Now it's real. And now it's this. That company has to go back to their team and whomever they hired or outsourced it and change up the strategy. When you hire somebody to give you a 6-month plan or a better yet, a 5-year plan, and then Facebook is like, oh, we're doing away with all of that. We're going to change it to this. That business is going to lose money.
And see, here's the deal with Facebook, and we talked about this a lot. That as a business, and we're talking about if you have a business page as a business owner on Facebook, and let's face it, a lot of people want to be on Facebook because it has the most users and it's easy and people are there and they're comfortable and whatever. But Facebook plays a shell game with you as a business page owner because they say, here's some organic engagement, and then they go with reels, and then they say, then they take it away and turn it down, and you go, wait a minute, I had like 3,000, 5,000 views. Now I only got 50. What's up? And then they'll send you a notification or an email or something saying, oh, this post performed better than all your posts. You should boost it, because they're trying to push you to the money. And as the business, you got to say, hey, do I really want to be on Facebook? And if I really want to have this much out of the effort, then I might have to run some ads. Otherwise, let's go, okay, I don't really want Facebook. I'll just leave the page there, and whatever I get, or I'll move over to TikTok and do, or Instagram Reels and focus my concentration there. Because that's what we have to do as the business owner. You have to decide, what's my budget? And Facebook wants me to pay to play. Do I want to play that game with them? Yes or no? If it's no, then I'll go over to TikTok and do some, entertaining reels. Not, you don't have to dance and all that, but I might get some better engagement over at TikTok. It's a choice we got to make. And again, it's like, we don't want to be everywhere. Anyway, you want to be where your people are hanging out.
Right.
So if they're not on Facebook, then maybe you might go, I'm not playing your game, Facebook, but here's a post every day or a week or what, something, a throwaway post, because I'm not really concerned about an engagement because I'm not getting it. But let me go over to TikTok and really put my focus on that, or Instagram and really put my focus on that. That's how I see it. Because Facebook is playing a shell game. They're like, hey, that, and that's why I tell you guys, Facebook wants you to stay on, and they want you to pay for play if you're a business page owner. If you're just on, family and friends and, just stuff, entertainment, they don't, it's fine. But as a business owner with a business page, they're not going to give you anything. They want you to give them money.
Right.
And that's it with Facebook. Oh, one more thing with Facebook. They had their little hearing thing with Congress. And so Facebook decides to publish the slides that the Wall Street Journal found out internally. They were sharing all this internal data about how it was, the negative effects on the teenagers. So Facebook goes, oh, okay, we're going to be above board and share these slides out. And they put the slides out. But Wall Street Journal came back after the fact and said, wait a minute, Facebook didn't share all of them. Here's the rest of them. So Facebook is still doing their little dirty work. The Facebook head of safety went to the Senate meeting this week. I think it was Thursday, and some senator asked her to stop. Will you stop the Finsta? And she had to explain to this congressman that Finsta is not a thing. It's a slang word. It means fake Instagram, where the kids are making fake Instagram. He says, well, you need to stop that. And she's like, the confusion on the videos on Twitter. I think it's on if you go to Bloomberg on Twitter, it's there. And she's like, what, she wants to say, what are you talking about? Finsta's not a thing. It's a slang that the teenagers use to make a fake Instagram that's private to a select group. And so you see the disconnect. So Congress doesn't get it. These people in Congress don't get it. So again, Facebook gets called to the carpet and nothing happened and nothing's going to happen. So
because the people who are trying to discipline don't know what the heck they're doing.
Right. So I'm like, okay, this is not going to be it. Let me see if I can bring it's a little video. Let me see if I can bring it up, and I'm not sure if the sound is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Let me know if you can hear it.
Ending Finsta.
Let me start it over.
Will you commit to ending Finsta?
Seriously, dude, really?
Senator, again, let me explain. We don't actually do Finsta. What Finsta refers to is young people setting up accounts where they may want to have more privacy. You refer to it as privacy from their parents. What in my interaction with teens, what I found is that they sometimes like to have an account where they can interact just with a smaller group of friends.
Well, Finsta is one of your Finsta's one of your products or services. We're not talking here about Google or Apple. It's Facebook, correct?
No.
It's slang for a type of account.
Okay, will you end that type of account?
I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're asking. What I can say is that based on what we've seen in terms of teens using those kinds of accounts, we've actually given them additional privacy options to address those kinds of issues where they want more privacy so that they can have more privacy.
Well, I don't think that's an answer to my question. I think we have reached the end of our hearing. We have another vote.
Okay, so that guy.
Wait, these people are running our country.
Yeah. So I saw
Lord.
that in my mouth is I was just like, I have no words. I don't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. Really. I mean, he thought Finsta was a thing that Facebook was putting out for the teenagers when it's them making an account. A Finsta is an account. It's not a thing, or it's just they make a separate account. Like they have one that the parents may know about, and then they make a separate private one that their little circle of friends knows about. See? So the cluelessness. I was just like, my mouth just dropped over. I had to watch it several times. I'm like, these are the people that are in Congress running things, trying to rein in Facebook, and they have no clue as to what they're doing. So some intern told him about a Finsta. He doesn't know what it is, because if he researched it on his own, he would have known what it was. So it's a term that he heard somewhere and decided to throw it out to sound like he knew what he was talking about.
Oh, Lord.
I can't. Okay. And that's what's going on with Facebook. Another slap on the wrist or whatever they're going to do, and we're going to move on. So not a big deal. All right. So that's this week in social media news. That's all the news I have. There's more. I'll be here all day. Don't want to be here all day.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, you all, today in Tech Life Weekly. We'll be back on Monday. It'll be first Monday. So we're going to be trying to do some things over in the circle. If you have not become a part of Bizchicks, we invite you to do so. Just to join Bizchicks, just text BIZ or Biz to 33777. Join the Bizchicks community. We're wanting to talk all about you, get you known to the people who need help. Everybody in here has something that they can share with someone else, and we want to promote you. So join Bizchicks, text BIZ to 33777 and sign up over there. And we appreciate you. Mark has his comment. I plan on winning the 620 million Powerball tomorrow. So I just wanted to tell you all how much I have enjoyed all of you. I will send you Christmas cards to share from my private island location undisclosed. Hashtag thank you, Jesus. Hashtag bye girl bye. Thank you, Mark.
Ooh, good luck with that, Mark.
Yeah. So everybody in the clubhouse, thank you so much for joining in. Appreciate you and appreciate your comments and interaction. This has been interesting. So we look forward to next week. TJ is going to have some really good stuff for us on Tuesday in her social media and digital marketing segments, and Dr. Tachi on Mediascope. Follow one another. And let's take the hassle out of the hustle for some other people as well. So we'll see you next time on Bizchicks Live. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See, normally I don't push all the buttons. Bye-bye.